Joe Hloucha was a Czech writer and Japanologist. He was born in 1881 in Podkovany, the son of brewer Josef Hloucha and Anna Matoušková. His brother was the writer Karel Hloucha, whom we have covered before. He attended gymnasium in Mladá Boleslav in Prague, the latter being where he also studied accounting. In 1906 he travelled to Japan for the first time, which would have a huge impact on the rest of his life. He briefly married a Japanese woman named Tama, then spent years travelling the world and collecting artifacts and showing them off. He gave his ethnographic collection over to Czechoslovakia in return for a pension in 1955 and died in Prague in 1957. He wrote several books on Japan with autobiographical themes, but we will review his 1920 Pavilion of Terror. The narrator is called to a friend's house in Tokyo to partake in something he calls ohimachi, but which seems to be a variation of Hyakumonogatari Kaidankai, where people relate ghost stories at night for the sake of showing courage. The elderly Murakami Sagoro tells 7 stories to 7 sons of his friends and relatives, and after each one he sends one of the boys to a distant pavilion in the garden to bring back a lamp wick. The first story concerns an ohimachi during the Bunsei era, where a young man is dared to go steal a wooden dedicatory board from the grave of his family's most bitter enemy. He does so, but the dead man chases him until he gets cut down just as he returns to his friends. The second tale concerns a sword sharpener being sent a memorable sword to sharpen by his daimyo, only for it to be stolen and the man winding up killing himself. So to regain his honor, his daughter travels from province to province dressed as a Komoso monk, until she finds the 2 men responsible and brutally murders them. The third story concerns a daimyo's son marrying the daughter of one of his officers, but when the bridal kimonos her father bought her with the daimyo's money get ruined in the rain, they think her father stole the money and shun her, her child not even knowing her own father. Instead, her daughter falls in love with the son of the crooked kimono merchant responsible, but because of the curse her grandfather spoke out against the merchant's entire family, they both end up dying. The man after the dead girl appears to him and drives the wife he was forced to marry to suicide. The fourth story concerns a samurai who likes to play Go, but when a priest keeps beating him he cuts his head off, only he then sees it everywhere, and it even shows up in front of his daimyo who has him executed for murder. The fifth story is about a forgotten Buddha idol that cries diamonds. Yet when a monk tries to use these to get his departed mother's rosary back from her greedy landlord, the latter tries to betray the monk, so the statue crushes his arm until he dies. The sixth story has a man tired of his wife and wanting to marry another woman, so his future father-in-law has her poisoned. Her body so deformed her husband kills her thinking she is a monster. Then her spirit haunts everyone responsible, with among others shedding her own hair into their food, until they all die. The seventh story concerns a daimyo's wife seeing a blue light outside and wanting it no matter what. It turns out it's a paper lantern, and her servant kills the owner when he would not give it up, and the owner's ghost and that of his dead lover roam the castle, even killing several innocent female servants before the lantern is returned. These stories are entertaining, but there is a bit of a folk story flatness in the presentation.